Hi, welcome to this video about practicing writing two-step equations. This is from lesson 5-1 in Envision, and we are on page 256, which is in your textbook, or if you need to access it, you can access it through the EasyBridge link, and just go to the table of contents and you can find it by using the page number. So I'm going to start with number 6 here, and then we're going to do some examples on the other page. Kaylee is how I'm going to pronounce her name, babysat for 11 hours this week. That was, well, what was? The 11 hours this week. The 11 hours she babysat this week was 5 fewer than 2/3 as many hours that she babysat last week, which was H. So we're going to use H to represent the hours she babysat last week. Write an equation to represent the number of hours she babysat each week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first take what I know here from the situation. I know that she babysat for 11 hours this week. Okay? This week. And I know that she babysat for H, so I don't know the number, but they're using H to represent the number of hours she babysat last week. I know that these two things are not equal. I know that H is an 11, that something happened in between that made her adjust the amount. So it says that was, this right here was, the word was in math, was or is, are, those linking verbs are another way to say equals. So I can say 11 hours equals 5 fewer than 2/3 as many as last week. So this is 5 fewer than or less than well, not just H, but 2/3 of what she did last week. Sounds like she did a lot last week. Sounds to me like she was babysitting not as much this week, but 2/3 of that. So 2/3 of that, or 2/3 as many, is a way to say that you're multiplying. Okay, so we're just going to translate that from that sentence then into math. So 11, that's one total, is 5 less than. Well, if I'm 5 less than means I'm taking 5 away from something. So there's something here, and then I'm taking away 5 from that. Okay. Like if I said that I have 7 lollipops, and you have 5 less than that, then you would do 7 minus 5 to figure out how many that you have. So you're taking away 5. So remember, these are hours and these are hours. So 5 hours, 11 hours. That's going to work out. Something in here is going to happen. So 2/3 of the hours. So I'm going to do 2/3 times what she had last week, and then subtract 5 from it, and that should result in the 11 hours. So that's it. That's her equation. So what I want you to notice that I did was I valued the labels and made sure that they made sense, and then I translated the sentence and translated it from words into math. So let's try another one. A farmer ships oranges in wooden crates. Suppose each orange weighs the same amount. Okay. The total weight of the crate filled with G oranges. So when it says G oranges, that means that, like normally it was just a total weight of a crate filled with 17 oranges, or the total weight of a crate filled with 35 oranges, whatever, right? It doesn't say a number. It says G. So G represents the number of oranges. So G is a number. I know it's a letter, but it represents G represents the number of oranges. Before it was a hashtag, it was a way to shorthand for number. Just so you know, number of oranges. So there's how many oranges? G oranges. So altogether, it weighs 24.5 pounds. That is why 24.5 is by itself, because it's the total weight. So you're going to notice in these word problems that that's the total that's usually on one side of the equation, most likely. Write equation that represents the relationship between the weight of the crate and the number of oranges. Well, wouldn't it just be like, wouldn't I just multiply the weight of one orange times the number of oranges? Wouldn't that equal to 24.5? Well, no, because here's the thing. They put the crate in too, and the crate has its own weight. So it's not just oranges. When they're weighing the whole thing, they're not just weighing the oranges, they're also weighing the crate. That's combined with it. That's why it's being added. Now notice this. 24.5 is pounds. 15 is pounds. So I have to add pounds to it. Well, the only thing I have here that's pounds is 0.38 pounds. Well, if I add 0.38 pounds plus 15 pounds, that doesn't equal 24.5. So how did this work? Well, that's because that's the weight per orange. So the 0.38 pounds is pounds per orange, and that's a unit rate. So when we have a unit rate in our word problem, that's a clue that we're multiplying. So whenever you have something that's a unit rate, like pounds per orange, then we're going to take this amount here, and multiply it times the oranges. So that means we're going to multiply the pounds per one orange times the number of oranges. So now I have my equation. I'm going to clean this up because it doesn't look good to me. I like to put the term with the variable first. So I multiply 0.38 times the number of oranges, plus I have to add in the crate because that's part of the weight, and all together that would equal 24.5 pounds. So there's my equation. I think that looks better. Maybe you can't tell the difference. So now let's look at number 8. Jordan wrote the following description. 3 fewer than 1/4 of x is 12. So I'm going to write that again. 3 fewer than 1/4 of x is 12. Okay, so we're going to translate this from a sentence into math. First thing I want you to notice is the word is. Is, was, are. Those are all words that mean equals. Constants will just be constants. So 12 is 12. 1/4 is 1/4. I'm going to be doing something with the 1/4 though, but it's just going to be 1/4. 3 fewer than. I'll come back to that. 1/4 of x. Whenever you see the word of, so when it's by itself, just of, 3/4 of x, 1/4 of x, that means you're multiplying 1/4 times x. But how am I going to do 3 fewer than that? Well, our tendency would just do 3 minus that, but that would be wrong because it's 3 fewer than 1/4 x, so that means you're actually taking the 3 away from the 1/4 x. So whenever you see the word than, that means you have to reverse the order. Like that. So there is the equation that matches that description. Okay, we're going to do one more together, and then the others will be posted, the answers for you to look in the answer key. So I'm going to choose to do number 10. Okay, so number 10, last night 4 friends went out to dinner at a restaurant. They split the bill evenly. Each friend paid $12.75 for his or her meal, and each left the same amount of a tip. The total bill, including tip, was $61. So there it is again, the total bill. Total bill altogether was $61. Write an equation to describe the situation. So remember we talked about that? When you have something that's the total amount, that's usually on one side of the equation. So these friends took that total amount and they each paid part, and they each paid the same amount. They each paid $12.75, and they each left a tip. Now, if they each paid $12.75, you would just multiply that by 4, and that would equal $61. But when we multiply 4 times $12.75, guess what? We don't get $61. Well, why? Because there's this tip. Now, did they pay the tip one time, or did each person pay the tip? Well, if each person paid the tip, that's what it's saying, it says each left the same amount for a tip. Well, if that's the case, then that means that there were 4 tips, not just one. So how am I going to account for that? Well, you do it one of 2 ways. I can say each of them paid $12.75, and all 4 of them paid a tip. And when you add that all together, it equals $61. So I have to have 4 tips, and I have to have 4 payments of $12.75. That's one way to do it. The other way is this. Think about it this way. Imagine you're the friend who's collecting the money. You collect from you put your money in first. You put down $12.75 plus a tip. You lay that down. Then the next person gives you $12.75 plus a tip. And the next person gives you $12.75 plus a tip. That's going to happen one more time. $12.75 plus a tip. It happens 4 times. 4 people are giving you $12.75 plus a tip. That happens 4 times. Once all that's compiled together, that equals $61. So that's the other way to write that equation. So those are 2, and this one could be simplified, by the way. I probably shouldn't try to just do it in my head, should I? Okay, I just got 51. I think this is 51. So $51 plus 4 times t. I hope I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Equals $61. There. That's another way to write the equation. Okay, so those were 3 examples that I did with you. And then you're going to finish the other examples on your own, which would be number 9 and number 11. Okay, and then hopefully after doing that, you would feel confident enough to take the lesson quiz. And thanks for watching.